Welcome to Diary of a Dreamer, where resilience unlocks your potential. I'm Tasha Eisinger, and each week I'll bring you powerful stories and practical insights from my own experiences and inspiring guests. Whether you're facing challenges or chasing dreams, this podcast is your go-to for motivation, building confidence, and practical tips for transforming obstacles into opportunities. Let's dive into today's episode and start turning your dreams into reality. I hope you've been following along with this series and have applied some things to your life that have helped you now and will set you up for your future as well. So as a recap, we've talked a little bit about my health issues that I had when I was 26. We didn't know why I was sick. I was very sick, fighting for my life. And I firmly believe my mindset helped me significantly. And I define mindset as your attitude and perspective. Those are both things that we can have some level of control over. Get through our day, because the reality is what you choose to see, you will see more of it. So our focus is really important. However, there are times though you can do all the right things and things are still out of our control and you can fall, literally or figuratively. And it's really important to keep in our hearts that you can live your dreams one step at a time. For me, that was a literal interpretation, but most of the time it's more figurative. And as you're continuing on your journey, it's important to be disciplined long enough to actually get the positive results you're seeking. So tether yourself to the process, not the outcome. You're able to control more of the process, your efforts, your perspectives, your attitude. You're able to control more of the process. Sometimes the results, actually most of the time, the results are pretty much out of your control. Here again, if you are disciplined long enough, you will get positive results. And we've all had that little voice. I hope that you listen to it and don't ignore it. It's there for a reason. It may not always be right, but it's there for a reason. And as you go through your life journey, some of you might be fiercely independent. I know I'm fiercely independent, but I have learned for sure you cannot do it all alone, but you can with the right team. You can live the life of your dreams with the right team. Now, all of these things that we've been discussing through this series, I do know that your life can improve. That's wonderful. And that's what I'm hoping with this podcast, is that there's little nuggets along the way that help you shift perspective, whether it's from a guest that I have on or something that I've shared myself. But to maximize your efforts, you must evaluate yourself honestly, kindly, and consistently, because you don't know where you're going unless you are tracking it. Our feelings can be fickle, and when you actually track it and see it in front of you, I like to use pen and paper. I'm sure there's plenty of apps that you could use, but when you actually track it, then you can see where you're going and what's working and what's not and everything. Back when I was doing network marketing, I had a great experience with it. I know a lot of people haven't. Don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything, but I loved my network marketing experience. It challenged me in ways that nothing else has, and it's helped me grow in ways that nothing else has. Here's one example. Growing up, my dad and my brothers had this gift to be able to talk to anybody. It was mind-boggling to me. I would stand there and be like, how do they do that? They could talk to pretty much anybody, have a connection, maybe make them laugh, wherever we were. And I would stand there and think, I don't know how to do that. And part of it was my social anxiety. Part of it is I don't like small talk. Small talk, though, is part of a quick connection, and then you can move on to the part of the person. Listen, if you and I met and you said, I want to share my biggest goals and dreams with you, I'd be like, let's dive right in. And we would figure out a plan. I'd be like, what's holding you back? What's moving you forward, and why and where? And man, we could talk for hours about that. But if we're going to have small talk, it's so awkward to me. But small talk is the initiation of typically deeper conversations. But when you're out and about, it really is a beautiful thing to be able to connect with a stranger and make them smile or laugh. And my brothers and my dad had that gift that I did not have. When I started network marketing, a big part of it is being able to connect with people, see if they have a need that your product can provide a solution for. And I was on a mission to help everybody. And sometimes people didn't want the help, and I wanted to give it to them anyways. It's very hard. But that was my goal, was to help everybody because I saw the benefits of the products and the business in my life. And I wanted other people to have that. So I would challenge myself to talk to people I didn't know, to practice forming a connection and asking questions, maybe having silence and not having it feel awkward, and refining that skill because it really is a skill that you can learn. When I first started, I would turn beet red. My hands would be sweaty and I would shake their hand and think, this is so gross. They're shaking my sweaty hand. Or my voice would sound shaky. I would forget to say my name. I would leave the situation and think, oh my goodness, that was so hard. I cannot believe how hard it was to talk to a stranger. If you met me today, you would not believe this story, but it's true. This is where I started. And I started doing something where I would evaluate myself and I would track it because this was just too big of an emotional investment for me to not track it. So I would write down something I did well. And at the beginning, it was that I simply did it. I had the courage to take action and was willing to embarrass myself. And what I have found, most people are really kind. They really are. If they can tell that you feel uncomfortable or awkward, they're typically more kind. It's when you get confident that people can get unkind. So I'd write down what I did well, and then I would write down what I could improve. Now, when I first started, I could have listed probably 10 things easily that I needed to improve. And I only wrote down one thing. So then the next time that I was in that situation, I would think of that one thing. And maybe it was take a breath before you try to talk to a stranger. Get rid of some of that anxiety. Or maybe it was remember to say your name this time. Like something so fundamental, when you introduce yourself to somebody or meet somebody, typically there's a name exchange, even if they don't remember it. So it was small things, but it wasn't everything because that's too much. Technically, the ratio is supposed to do is a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 things you did well and 1 thing to improve upon. But honestly, I just started with 1 and 1 because thinking of 3 things I did well, I don't know if I could have done that at the beginning. And what I've learned by doing this, tracking things, is that there are time periods where maybe I feel like I haven't done very well or I'm not growing. And I can look back through this really basic list and see, oh my goodness, I had forgotten about that. Or no, I am getting better. I have grown. Or I'm proud of myself for challenging myself in this way. And then there's been time periods where I thought, man, I am crushing it at life right now. And then I look through and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I've been crushing it at the stuff that actually isn't important to do, but I'm doing it. So I feel like I'm actually getting stuff done. This is called being busy. A lot of times we can be busy doing a whole lot of nothing. And that's what I was doing. So then I would course correct and figure out, okay, what can I adjust here to actually improve and grow? And I'm really happy to share that over time, as I put myself out of my comfort zone and kept tracking and evaluating, I got to this moment where I was sitting on an airplane. When it's a red-eye flight, they come back through, the flight attendants come back through with, I think it's probably a snack or something. And it typically wakes people up, and the person beside me and I, we woke up around the same time. Within 5 minutes, we had a quick conversation. I was able to get their name and phone number because there was a need that could be fulfilled with my business. And I scheduled a follow-up call. And then within a short time period, I was back to sleep. And it was something I basically did in my sleep because I practiced so much and kept learning and growing and improving. So I know if you're willing to get uncomfortable and challenge yourself a little bit, you can become more of who you're wanting to be. I really admired the fact that my dad and brothers could talk to strangers. And even though I'm no longer building my network marketing business, yes, I'm building this business, but I'm not out prospecting the same way that you do in network marketing. I still can form connections with strangers, and we can smile, maybe have a quick moment of laughter. Maybe they feel uplifted because somebody noticed them that day. Somebody gave them a compliment on something that day. It's a really beautiful thing to be able to connect with people, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without challenging myself out of my comfort zone and without tracking it and seeing that growth. It feels really good when you can see that within yourself. But to get to this growth and the life that you're wanting to create, you must give yourself permission to make mistakes. I hope you realize you have what it takes and have the courage to pursue the dreams in your heart. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Diary of a Dreamer. I hope you found the stories and tips shared today to be a source of motivation and strength. Remember, every challenge you face is a chance to grow and move closer to your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with anyone who could use a boost of encouragement.